So Hezbollah send a rocket into Israel which hits and kills 12 children at a soccer field. And they're Druze, they're Arabs. It is so sickening what they're doing. Their death cult, their lust to want to destroy the Jewish people's state. They don't care about a legitimate grievance of so-called Palestinians. That's not what it's about. It's about an Islamic supersessionist worldview, a hateful ideology that wants world dominance just like the Nazis did. There's nothing legitimate about it. And the media try to legitimize it and try to say that it's somehow justified, because of Israel's actions. And they even talk about Hezbollah hitting Israeli-occupied Golan Heights, the Golan Territory, to somehow make it seem like Israel is somehow in the wrong, that Israel started this, Israel provoked it. It is so sick. It's so twisted. Israel has every right to the Golan Heights. It is Jewish land. And that's according to international law. It's according to the American administration. It's according to history. It's according to the Bible. It's according to God himself. But I want to show you a clip of Luai Ahmed, who is a Yemenite born. He was raised as on a diet of Islamism, basically, and antisemitism. And he moved to Sweden, and he has a message for Hezbollah.
أهلا حزب الله، هذه رسالة من أخ يمني. أنا عارف إنكم تشتوا تقتلوا اليهود، بس أنتم عارفين إنكم قتلتم أكثر من 10 أطفال؟ قتلتم 10 أطفال من فئة الدروز، ودين الدروز خرج أصلاً من الإسلام. مش شايفين إيش سرطان كراهية اليهود وإسرائيل تسوي؟ أنا عندي سؤال واحد لكم ولأخوانكم الحوثيين في اليمن. أنتم تسموا أنفسكم حزب الله وأنصار الله، فسؤالي لكم، هل الله يريد أنكم تقتلوا أطفال أبرياء؟ هل قتل الأطفال الأبرياء مناصرة لله؟ ليش ما تغيروش اسمكم إلى حزب الشيطان وأنصار الشيطان؟ خالق هذا العالم بريء منكم ومن أفعالكم، فرجاء غيروا اسمكم حزب الشيطان أنصار الشيطان، حاجة كذا تمثلكم. أهلا حزب الله، هذه رسالة.
Well, let's just stop the video. I think that, first of all, it's a great video, and one of the things that is really important to unpack is how you get people who are religious, that supposedly worship God, that can basically promote a death cult. How does that happen? I think part of the equation is you create a worldview that is centered around the afterlife, and you become very focused on getting heavenly rewards and thinking that that's what religion's about. I'm not saying that necessarily leads to a death cult and extremism, but it does open the door. Because what happens is, the second that life becomes all about getting that heavenly reward and getting to heaven, then your value for this life becomes very cheap. And your focus becomes entirely on what do I need to do in order to get there. Suddenly death is like, whatever. The main thing is in the next world. Actually, if you think about it, it becomes a very selfish endeavor. Religion becomes a selfish endeavor. All it's about is, how can I get to heaven? How can I get my needs met? It sounds noble. It's actually very selfish, self-serving. I'm not saying that they will get a heavenly reward for doing all their evil acts, but they think they do. So they say, we're doing it for honor, for Allah. Actually, you're doing it for your own reward, for yourself. Judaism teaches, and the reason why we say to life, l'chaim, why we sanctify life, is because we don't believe that the reason we're here is for us to get there. We don't believe that life should be about getting our needs met, us getting our place in heaven, which is so selfish. We sanctify life because in our books, or in our book, it teaches that life and meaning is about bringing God down to earth and enhancing everyone's lives around you and impacting everyone's lives around you for the better. It's not about our need to get there. It's about our desire to serve him, to serve his need, not ours, to bring godliness into this earth and to infuse it with everyone. Suddenly, when you understand that that's the purpose of life, in order to bring heaven down to earth, then life is no longer cheap. And my life is no longer selfish and all about me getting my heavenly reward. Quite the contrary. Life is the most valuable, sacred thing there is. It's precisely what God desires. See, when religion becomes so toxic, it's because it's become all about cheapening this life. It's become all about a selfish spirituality that's trying to get there, becomes self-serving, becomes burdensome, and it cheapens life. True life is asking, what is the contribution I can make in this world that God created so that I can bring his presence into this world and make it more real and make this world better, more comfortable for everyone. That's what the God of Israel teaches. So some people can look at this and think, see, religion sucks. And they can dismiss religion as a result. Well, how's secularism working out for us either? I think it depends on the context, as we heard from the great secular Western intellectual institutions just a few months ago. We're seeing both the failure, the catastrophic failure of Western secularism, but also religious extremism on the other side. Perhaps the world could actually listen to the religious voice, the godly voice of the Jewish people when we really tap into that. Because that's something they haven't yet tried. And it may actually be what the world is desperately crying out to hear. Because the Jewish God, the God of Israel, tells us we're here because there's a purpose. Because he wishes to dwell on earth with us. So we do have meaning. And that deals with the issue of the void of meaning, which is drawing so many people to religious extremism. And they're seeing such a lack of wisdom among Western secularism. But Judaism can answer that call and say, yes, you are here, but not in order to get there. You're here in order to bring more life, in order to serve this world and make this world better and more divine. So that is the great ideological battle that's going to take place. And in the end, the Jewish view will win. Because ultimately, life is what wins. What's dead is dead. It will die. So an ideology that is centered around death will die. An ideology that is centered around life and asking, what can I do to bring more life to this world, will live, even if the odds are stacked against you. And that is how the Jewish people have thrived and brought so much positivity to this world, have influenced the conversation of ideas on such a powerful level, both individually and nationally, throughout the centuries. It's because Moses told us at the very end of the Torah, before he died, he told us, you're going to have a very difficult time in exile. Your existence is going to be really difficult. You're going to spend most of your history persecuted, wandering the earth. It's going to be difficult. But choose life. Don't focus on your own needs. Focus on what's needed of you. Don't focus on your existence. Focus on the contribution whatever existence you have can make to the world around you. And when you're focused on that, your needs and your existence takes a back seat. You're truly living. And you end up transcending the natural order of this world because you're just in a totally different headspace. When you put your needs to the back and in back seat and instead focus on what's needed of you and living, your needs end up actually just taking care of themselves. So that's why the Jewish people say to life. That's why Israel survives against all the odds, against being surrounded by a sea of haters. So we should take heart in that and know that ultimately what's going on here is ideological battles. And it's the ideological battle that needs to be won ultimately. And that's what informs everything that we do on JTV. We have to fight the military battles. We have to fight the PR wars. We have to fight all these things. But fundamentally, it's the ideology that is the core of these issues. And that's why education and sharing of Jewish ideas that are globally relevant, which is the tagline of JTV, continues to be an endeavor which I personally, and I hope everyone, will devote their time to. So please do share this video. Please comment, like, do what you can to help us share this message. And thank you as always for taking the time to watch. Hi, thank you so much for watching. To watch another one, click here. To stay up to date with all our content, click here to subscribe. And if you're able to, you can help support JTV to grow and grow by clicking join below this video, where you can become a member and get perks including early access to videos and private live discussions with me. But most of all, you'll be partnering with us on our mission to change the world.